all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites. How are we doing today? How are we doing today? Thank you, Malika. So salutations to you, good sister. Thank you for kicking off the contributions. I greatly appreciate you. I want to continue the conversation about single life being preferable for women, specifically being preferable over any sort of marriage or commitment for women, because that is the growing trend, that this single life for women is not only a person's individual choice, but overall, this is a better situation, or possibly the best situation that a woman can put herself in. Her overall happiness, her overall nirvana, if you will, her ultimate fulfillment does not lie in the trap of marriage. It does not lie in wifehood, motherhood, or any of the other so-called female roles that women have traditionally fulfilled in community and in society. In point of fact, this has been a ruination for women. It has destroyed women to be mothers, to be wives, to be in commitment with anybody. And when you talk about how these women are trying to portray this ultimate happiness, freedom, and wonderful life that they are leading, and then you point out how these same women who at one point held that view, or at least told other people that they held that view, come back and retract those statements. They come back to say, you know what? I'm lonely. I have not spoken to any close people in weeks or months. I have not been touched by anyone of any significance to me in months or years. The only human to human contact that I have had has been incidental, or maybe a fling, or maybe some one night stands, something like that. And at one point, maybe I promoted that was a good thing, and that was preferable, and that was overall better, the best possible situation that a woman can put herself in. And after a few years of it, without any end in sight, now I don't feel so sure about those decisions. Because apparently my video this morning triggered a lot of women. And they were in my comment section talking about, basically trying to turn it around, that married women are triggered over what single women are doing and policing the lives of single women. let me start by saying this. I don't care about any individual female if you decide that you want to live your life without any attachment or commitment to anybody. If you want to live your life in complete selfishness, then do that. I don't care one way or the other. My issue comes in at trying to spread that to every other woman, knowing that you're miserable about it. That when there's no camera, you don't like this. My thing is stop trying to make your coping mechanism of not being really prepared, able, or the kind of woman that can get into a meaningful, healthy relationship with people. Stop trying to make that, you know what I mean? Like, since you can't have it, you're trying to make your circumstances the virtue. The circumstances, because you can't get out of the circumstances, now all of a sudden these are the best possible outcomes that you could possibly have had, and your life couldn't really be any better than this. Like, stop trying to convince people of that. Because if you were okay being alone, y'all would not need the TikTok audiences and the Instagram audiences and the YouTube audiences and all of these social media Twitter audiences to live by yourself. You would truly seek the solitude. And you definitely would not be putting your business out there because you wouldn't want nobody to be commenting on how you live. Because wouldn't it not be nobody's business how you living? Correct? I find it to be interesting, and I'm going to get to the super chats in a little bit. I find it to be interesting that there were so many women triggered under the comments of the last video talking about how married women are pressed about single women. No, we're not. No, we're not. Individually, we don't care. We don't care about that. The thing about it is that there are several myths that are being attached to this. And I find it ironic because single women are all women who have never been married ever, have a whole lot to say about the nature of marriage, what it is, what it isn't, and swearing up and down that married women are oppressed women, that they are unhappy women, that they are just miserable women, and they're miserable because they're in relationships. And if they were to get out of relationships, then the women would actually be able to find their fulfillment as women. And it's due to the attachment of being in a relationship that's actually hindering women from doing stuff like going to a restaurant or taking a trip. And this is said and promoted simply because being chaotic by yourself doesn't take any work, and it doesn't take any thought. You just don't want to be, and I'm going to use this word, fettered. You don't want to be fettered to anything. That's what this movement is about. It's telling women you don't need to be fettered to anyone or anything, regardless if you have children or not, regardless if you already have a relationship or not. You could already be in a marriage. And the trend is saying, even if you are a wife and a mother, we know you're unhappy. So therefore, your happiness means more, or it should be more important to you than any obligation that you may have to any family, husband, children, whomever. Your happiness, and this is sort of the crux of the matter, and the reason why I have a problem with promoting this single life as the best possible outcome that a woman can have. I don't like that it's saying that, because it encourages women who already have, why did it post twice? Anyway, it encourages women that already have these obligations to drop them. That it's perfectly, there are TikToks. I've seen actual TikToks where women are telling, single women are telling married women that it's okay to divorce your husband even if there's nothing wrong in the relationship. I'm gonna open up the line in a minute. Can you help me? Should a husband and wife be happy or not? We can definitely have that conversation. You can click the link, because we're gonna open up the lines in just a few minutes. There have been several TikToks where I've seen white women, I've seen black women, I've seen all kinds of women who are single, telling women who are married that that you shouldn't feel bad if you break your family up because you want to experience something else, and your happiness should come before everybody else's happiness. And it doesn't matter if there's nothing wrong in your relationship. He could be a good guy. He could be doing everything that he's supposed to be doing. But if you feel lacking in some way, then you should break your family up. And it doesn't matter how it's going to affect the children. It doesn't matter if it breaks his heart. It doesn't matter if other people, because when you're married, especially if you're married for an extended amount of time, a divorce does not just affect the two people that got divorced. It affects everybody. Not everybody's relationship is affected in one way or another. Other extended family members, now it's like, okay, y'all are not married anymore. So now there's a co-parenting issue. The grandparents want to see, you know what I'm saying? When things were actually going okay. And a lot of single women use the divorce rate as a sign and a signal to say how marriage is not okay. And I want to talk about that. I'm going to get to the super chats in a second. I want to talk about that as well. Because why are we blaming the concept of marriage because people don't know how to be married? So since people want to be selfish and they don't want to actually, they don't know how to be married anymore. Now the concept of marriage is bad. That's wrong, and we should have never done that as a human race. You don't get to rewrite human history. We don't get to say that millennia upon millennia of relationships and marriages has been the wrong way to go. Absolutely. And that the concept of being in a committed relationship was actually wrong. We don't get to do that just because people don't know how to have a relationship anymore. Because generally speaking, men have not left what makes them husbands. They have not left that concept. Let's talk about that. Men in general have not left that concept because men are expected to do what men have always been expected to do. And when we talk about that, I'm specifically talking about men have always been expected to provide in some kind of way, to problem solve in some type of way, to protect somebody, and to procreate with somebody. Whether he does that individually, whether he does that for his nuclear family, or whether he does that in a collective societal way, men are always expected to do that. Men are expected to build and maintain the infrastructures of society. Men are expected to maintain and to build law and order in society. Men are expected to fulfill the jobs of things like security guards, police officers, firemen, garbage men, the guys that is in the sewer, the guys that climb the lines for electricity, the farmers. Men are expected to go into these necessary fields. They are expected to be mechanics. They're expected to be plumbers. They're expected to be electricians. They're expected to be HVAC people. They are expected to go into the fields that actually uphold society. They are expected that whatever financial gains that he has, he's expected to share that in some kind of way with somebody. He either got to take care of his parents, his mama. He either got to take care of wife and kids. He got to take care of siblings. He got to take care of the society at large with his taxes. He's got to take care of somebody. And if he doesn't do that, then he is castigated as selfish and as a man that is lacking in his masculinity. He's not a man, because everybody's quick to talk about what a real man ought to be doing and the role that a real man is supposed to be taking. Men are ridiculed for saying, men were ridiculed for MGTOW and SYSBM. Men were ridiculed for men going their own way and saying, I don't have to participate in family and communal structures by being a husband and a father if my contributions are not respected, they are not appreciated, they are not reciprocated on any level. And in point of fact, I am, regardless of how I contribute to a family or how I contribute to society, I'm always going to be the bad guy. I'm always going to be at fault for its failure, or I'm at fault for, you know what I'm saying? I'm always accountable. Nobody else is accountable. Then I take my hands off of it. The only thing I got to do is die and pay taxes. I'll take care of me, but I won't take care of children and family. I'm not going to step in and take care of the single mothers and be stepdad. See, when men said that, they were castigated as not masculine. But when men were saying that, that was reactionary to the way in which society was going and the ultimate collective selfishness of the women. Because as a collective, women bought into, I don't need a man. I can disrespect not only men in general, but my man, the man that's in my house. I can disrespect him. I can disrespect my husband. I can disrespect the father of my children. I can disrespect and cast aside the men who have made it their business to make sure I'm protected, to make sure I'm covered, to make sure I'm okay. I don't have to respect that. I don't have to give due deference to that. I don't have to listen. I don't have to be held accountable by these people. He can't tell me nothing. And so many decades of that, men were like, okay, fine, let's take our hands off of it. And women started acting a fool. Now it was all about how men weren't men anymore because they were not upholding traditional masculine roles. And so they were weak and they were sassy, and men are effeminate. Let me get to these super chats. Thank you so much, Steve said, what it is, good sister and people. Thank you so much, sweetheart, for your contribution. Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you, Miss Almanasa. Happy Friday, y'all. Happy Friday to you too, sweetheart. Thank you, Ruminant. Said yesterday's stream was a masterclass for handling non-trending topics. You kept hitting out of order like singing a hook. You made it catchy. Thank you so much. You know, it is a balance. It's a balancing act as a content creator, because you want the numbers. You want to see the numbers. And it's discouraging when the numbers are not there. However, the balance has to come, because every topic can't be a trending one. It has to be something that people need to hear, just like today. Because if I was talking about Leslie Jones, or I was talking about Diddy, or I was talking about, which I don't mind getting to them things, we know that I would have 1,000 people in here by now. You see what I'm saying? But as a content creator, there's a balance. You gotta be willing to take 600 people when usually you can pull 1,200 people, right? It would be double. When I was talking about Kiki, I had like 1,500 people in here, right? Thank you, Damien. I love your teaching about out of order. Fix it or junk it. I've chosen to junk it since the hyenas were hyenaing in your comments. Can I get the hyena sound effect, please? You definitely can. Thank you once again, Steve. I think that might have sent twice, but thank you so much for your contribution once again. Thank you, Steve. Once again, says God's law, and man, woman shakes a fist in God's face and say, "You didn't make me right. I make me right." That's real talk. And thank you so very much, UFO, for your generous contributions that Kendra delivers. I try my best. Thank you so much for that. And thank you, Miss Yanisa. Said misery loves company. It absolutely does. Thank you so much for the contribution. I'm gonna hit a commercial break, and then we're gonna come back. If you want to hit the link and come up, because this is a call-in show, please do. I've got somebody in the comments that seems like they want to talk, but I'm not going to talk through the comments on a call-in show. So after these messages, we'll be right back.
Hello, my Crimsonites and all of my supporters. I invite you to go and get your copy of my new book, Reclaiming the Black Feminine, The Lies of Feminism and the Road to Recovery, on sale now at crimsoncure.com. This is guaranteed to change your perspective and positively impact your life. So go ahead now to crimsoncure.com and get your copy today.
So what you want to do, you definitely want to go to crimsoncure.com, pick up your copy of Reclaiming the Black Feminine, Lies of Feminism and the Road to Recovery. I don't know how many likes I have, but I know I owe y'all a bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button, bam, bam. You got to, So go ahead, hit the like button if you have not hit the like button. Thank you so much, RJ. So don't know what you're talking about, but you're probably right. Greetings from Canandaigua. Is that how you pronounce that? New York via 69th and the Ryan. That's some show enough South Side Chicago right there. 69th and the red line. Okay. So the issue that I'm having with the whole single women, it's better off. You're not better off. You're not better off. As a collective, you're not better off. The main reason why I can say that is that on the one hand, you'll get on social media and say how awesome it is to be, I'd rather be single and peaceful than having all that trouble in a relationship. Then don't be trouble in your relationship. Don't get into these toxic, unworkable, unhealthy relationships with people, and you won't have all of these problems. Y'all relationships are tumultuous because you're too chaotic to listen. You're too chaotic. You don't listen to nothing. You don't have disagreements with your husband and then seek towards a resolution. Y'all like to argue to be arguing. You get into arguments because you want to be right now. Now you want to be right. And it's about winning an argument instead of it being about let's get to a resolution so that we don't have to argue about anything anymore. At least let's resolve this problem so that we don't have to keep going back over this issue. If we're going to have an issue in the future, at least let it be a different issue and not the same issue. The main reason that so many women are now coming on social media to talk about how being single is so awesome is because you lack the depth as a human being to be in a relationship. Because relationships, especially healthy ones, especially potentially good ones, reveal who you are. It tells you everything you need to know about you. And it tells other people what they need to know about you. But relationships are mirrors to each person that's in the relationship. And once you get into a relationship and a marriage, you have a mirror in front of you. And you have another person that is now holding you accountable for mistakes, They're holding you accountable for errant thinking and errant ways of doing things. They're now holding you accountable and challenging you to improve who you are and to improve the way you think and the way that you operate in life, to point out to you your chaos and to help you correct that, and to give you the foundations that you need in order to make corrections to yourself. Healthy relationships make you better, and that actually go for men and women. That go for men and women, because men can actually be bettered by a healthy relationship with a good woman. He can be bettered by that, because it gives him an opportunity to shore up his leadership. I see you in the back, brother. We're going to get to you in just a second. It gives him an opportunity to shore up his leadership, because without people to lead, he doesn't know whether his leadership is good or bad. He doesn't know if his leadership is effective or not, or whether his leadership style is acceptable or not. He can have a concept in his head, but without the family or the wife, he can't do proof of concept. So once he gets a wife, or once he gets into relationships, he can then start honing that leadership skill. Well, I had 3 relationships that didn't go right, and they probably didn't go right because she was acting a certain way, but she might have been reacting to my leadership, which might not have been the best. I might not have been the best leader that I could have been. So in hindsight, my next relationship, I'm probably not going to do that anymore. I'm probably not going to be a hothead, or I'm probably not going to shut down, or probably, you know what? I'm going to employ better leadership skills and see if that rectifies how my relationships go. I might find myself with a better grade of woman. Because I tell you right now, lionesses don't react well under bad leadership. We don't react well under bad leadership. Lionesses will show you her teeth and claws. She will do it. And you'll be trying to figure out, what kind of woman is that? You'll be trying to figure it out. Women are bettered by healthy, good relationships, because women don't self-improve without men. And I know a lot of women don't like that, but women do not self-improve without men. Men force us to do better because we're chaotic. Chaos is unformed. It don't have no direction. It's just an energy. Without the proper guidance, men can provide the proper guidance and structure to direct that energy, and we become better versions of us. I'm a lioness because I have received in my lifetime good SOS. And not only did I receive it, I listened to it. I listened to it. Not only did I receive the SOS, I actually listened to the guidance, and it actually made me better. Like, okay, you doing things kind of the way you want to, but is that the best way? Just because you want to do it and it feel all right, that mean, what does that mean? So I'm going to head to a call here. Let me bring up Brother Christian. How you doing today, Brother Christian?
How you doing, Miss Davis? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, perfect. So I'm just getting off work, so I got to the stream a little bit late. But I just want to say thank you so much for the work that you're doing.
Very welcome.
And I wanted to say about the show you did yesterday, about talking about the women who are like out of order.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say I love that, because like you said, there's danger to that. Just in my life, my dating life, I've noticed that there can be dangers to that. And if as a man, that if I'm not vetting properly, that if I'm not looking out, then that, yeah, I can find myself in certain like unfortunate situations. And that, yes, that there is a certain danger that men has to be, that we have to look out for. So I'm so glad you touched on that yesterday.
No problem. No problem. Because I think that was probably the simplest way that I could have illustrated why women should not be out of order. Because like I said yesterday, things that are out of order do become dangerous. The weight machine at the gym that's out of order, nobody touches it, because you're gonna get hurt going over there trying to operate a machine that does not operate properly. It's not gonna be right. You're going to be in trouble. You going okay, get under the weight machine and it don't lift back up, you're gonna get crushed. Like, stop. And women have proven themselves societally as a whole to be dangerous because they're out of order. So men, how many men's and children, not just men, children's lives have been ruined, and other women. They ruin other women's lives as well, getting into
Exactly.
positions that they're not ready for. Just like, for example, excuse me, the series that Pink Book Lessons did. She did a masterful series on the city girl mayor. This
Yes,
woman is out of order. So she's not just one-on-one ruining some man's life. She is ruining the lives of citizens that she is incapable of leading. Yet she's in a leadership position. So she is dangerous to these people. She's dangerous to the people who are on the board, and she's dangerous to the citizens in the suburb that she's leading and being a mayor over. She's dangerous to people who are owning businesses and things of that nature in her vicinity and under her jurisdiction. So she's dangerous. She's
exactly.
ruining people. She's ruining people's lives. And that was what I actually wanted to point out, not only to the men but to the women themselves. You make yourself, the threat level is too high
Hmm.
because of being out of order. So that's where that was really coming from.
I appreciate that because yeah, I just met a girl actually at the hookah lounge a couple weeks ago. It's all my family, and I just know growing up, maturing, that we was talking, and she flat out told me that she had explosive personality disorder. And I'm like, oh, I didn't think that was a thing.
Mm,
But then I looked it up, like that's a real thing. So I'm like, okay, bouts of violence, anger. I'm like, I probably could date her, probably could hit it, whatever. But then what? How could that backfire on me? So I just left that situation alone, and I'm like, okay, I just walked out. I'm like, okay, I can't. No, I'm not doing that. And so you mentioned that about how a woman could be a danger to not only to one-on-one, but to whole groups. I'm like, that could have been a dangerous situation one way or another if I wasn't matured enough to say, hey, no, sex ain't everything. you
mhm.
know,
Right.
so right. So I just want to say I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad I got on the call for you with you tonight, and just keep doing your thing. We all appreciate it.
No problem. And thank you so much for giving us a little bit of time and a little bit of your insight today. I appreciate you.
No problem.
All right. Have a good one and be
You
safe
too.
out there.
Definitely.
All right. So this comment, yes, she's supernatural. How you doing, sweetheart? You can definitely hit the link. Men care the most about looks. No, they don't. No, they don't. Men care about looks. Looks will bring them to you. This is why women do the whole BBL thing and the breast thing and the hair thing, and because a certain look, a certain aesthetic will bring a man over to you, because men like things that are pretty. And the wonderful thing about that is that women were designed to be pretty. We were designed to be attractive to them. We were designed, our basic biological makeup was designed to attract them. The fact that we do have breasts, the fact that we are curvier, the fact that, we do have better hips and we might have a booty, and those things are attractive to them. Women care about looks too, because we're not dealing with some dude that we can't get hot for. We're not dealing with a man that don't make us wet. We don't even want to deal with him for no reason. So that's number one. That's human nature. We're gonna be attracted to people. And if you're not attracted to them initially, then you're not gonna get to the rest of them because the initial attraction is not there. So this is not, I hope this isn't some type of dig at guys about them being superficial, because women have proven themselves to be the most superficial. Women only care about money, right? She don't care about whether or not he treats her well. She don't care nothing about whether he loves her. She don't care nothing about whether he's a protector of her and whether or not he's good to her and whether or not she don't care. She doesn't care at all about none of that. I got Elijah in the back. I need y'all to hold on for one quick second. My apologies for having to spin off real quick. So just to talk about that, and I hope that you can hit the link, because this is the only comment that I'm going to comment on. Men care about looks, but that's not the only thing that they care about. Looks will get them over to you. How good of a woman you are will keep them or not. Because too many women can't find basic respect, can't find basic appreciation, and don't understand the concept of reciprocation in a relationship. A lot of women don't know how to have relationships. Let's just start there. A lot of women today have no idea how to be in a relationship at all. You're extremely selfish. That is indicated by the amount of divorces initiated by women for reasons talking about, I just need to be happy and I just need to find my happiness. No real reason. Well, this was going on in the relationship and it made the relationship unsustainable. We tried to fix it. It wasn't able to be fixed. And so therefore, we had to break it up. Women will break up a whole marriage for nothing, to run the street and do stuff that she could have done in her relationship, only to be out of her relationship for a couple of years, realize that there's nothing out here in the street for her to do, or for there's nothing, because she's always looking for the man she left. Because the next man that she finds, she's gonna do all the stuff that her ex-man wanted her to do. She gonna do all the stuff for that guy that her husband wanted her to do that she refused to do. Tia Mowry is running around here trying to find another Corey. Because if the next man if she get another man that take her halfway seriously, she gonna probably do all the stuff that Corey wanted her to do. She gonna talk nice, she gonna be sweet, she gonna be adventurous, she gonna be outgoing, she gonna be funny, she gonna be sexy, she gonna do all that stuff that her man wanted her to do, begged her to do for 15 years. She wouldn't do it because she's bored with him. And she ain't gonna do nothing but be bored with the other man. And then is something gonna be wrong with him, and it's gonna be a reason why she can't be a good woman to him, and then they're gonna have to leave. Like, stop playing with me. Anyway, I want to know, I've got unlearn to relearn in the back. Are you a woman? And I need to see you on camera, at least in the background, before I pull you up, because there are lots of shenanigans to be had. I'm not accusing you. I'm just saying, at least in the background, let me see you to be a real person. There we go. Miss Unlearn to Relearn. I'm going to take the lady first. We're going to give preference to the ladies, and then I'll get to the brothers, because I got a lineup of brothers in the back. So here we go. How you doing today, Miss Unlearn?
Hi. Sorry I'm not on camera. I just got off work. I look a little raggedy right now, but I love you so much, Crimson. Like, you really have been a major, major blessing in my life. Like, my boyfriend actually introduced me to you about a year ago, and just ever since, it was almost as if, like, you became like a mother to the motherless, because I wasn't taught these things growing up. I wasn't taught how to be a woman. I wasn't taught how to, be in relationships, or even just what that even looked like. Even though my parents were married, my mother kind of ran everything. My dad just let her do whatever. So it was like, we weren't, I wasn't taught to be a wife, even though my mother was a wife. So it was like just growing up in a lost value system, growing up just thinking things is, just going to the topic of what you're talking about today, being single, being better than married or whatever. And I mean, I guess growing up, I always thought you would just automatically come into a marriage. I didn't really know exactly what they look like, but then just like the times that we living in now, it's like it is kind of like, being single is the life. They push that like that's the best thing to do, that's the best thing to have. But once you really understand your purpose as a woman, once you really understand who you are, then you realize, like, being a wife, being a mother, having a family, that's your true purpose. That's what we supposed to be doing. And being introduced to you and your channel, and just Chris, I just really can't even put in words just how much help you have been in my life. Like, it's amazing. I just want to say thank you. Like, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You are more than welcome. You're more than welcome. I appreciate what you're saying. Mother to the motherless, that's a heavy thing, because I know that a lot of us ladies grew up not seeing good examples. There are only a few of us who actually saw and experienced what marriages look like, what healthy, good relationships look like, what they sound like, what they appear to be, as some sort of example for what we should be doing. A lot of us got an example for what we shouldn't do, and then
Right,
didn't get the antithesis, didn't get the
right,
answer. There's one thing to learn what not to do, and then there's another thing to learn what to do.
Right.
And I actually grew up, I actually had to go through those growing pains myself, what not to do. My mother taught me what not to do in a relationship just by example. But then I had to figure out, well, what should I be doing? I understand what I shouldn't be doing, but
Right.
what should I be doing? What makes me a wife? What makes me a good wife? Because
Right.
I don't actually know. And this is where you allow your man to teach you what that is.
Yes.
This is this
Yes.
is this is where you, if you get a good man with a solid foundation, a solid system, order, and structure, then this is where you become teachable and coachable at this time, because you know you don't really know. So
Right.
let him tell you, because men do this, and it's really men's job to teach women how to love and how to be women. The first man that job was meant to be for was your dad. Now, whether or not he completed that job for any one of us is each individual person's story. But that's the first man that's supposed to teach a little girl how to be a woman, how to be feminine, how to interact with men, and most importantly, how to be underneath system, order, and structure properly without being combative and feeling like you're getting attacked every 5 seconds. How long have you and your boyfriend been together?
Almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years. And how, may I ask how old you are, sweetheart?
I'm 28.
28. How old is he?
He's in his 40s.
He's in his 40s. Okay. And are we going towards marriage?
Hopefully, like just going into as far as like the teaching, like he really had to teach me how to be a woman. Like I came to him kind of just like full of chaos, no order, and he brought complete order into my life. Now, like I'm still getting older, and it's hard to erase 28 years of bad behavior that's just been learned and taught, so just because when I met him I was turning 26, so just coming from a 25-year-old that had I've been through a lot, I've traveled, not too many relationships. This is actually really like my longest relationship, and like I said, being in this relationship I feel the most fulfilled because I've learned so much about myself, about men. And then like I said, just him introducing me to you, it was like a real eye opener. Like when your books first came out, like I pre-ordered my book. When you had them available for pre-order, like I pre-ordered my book and got it. And I'm still working on it. I'm taking my time reading it because I'm just trying to get a full understanding. I go back and I reread things that I don't fully understand, or things that I may be struggling with. I go back to try to get an understanding. And that has really helped out a lot. Like just in my
Okay.
relationship, me as a woman, that has helped. But being in this relationship with him, because he is a God-fearing man, and that was the first thing he did to me, was get my spirituality in order, and everything else has been starting to fall in place.
Okay, that's good to hear. Do you have children, sweetheart?
No, I don't.
No children. Okay. So you saying y'all been together for 3 years. He's in his 40s, you're 28. So
Yeah.
he's been with you since you were 25.
Yes.
Okay. Let me tell you this. Let me give you some help.
Okay.
Do you want to get married? Let me ask that first.
Not necessarily by like paper, but I do want to take vows, under the Most High.
Okay. So
You cut out.
you cut out. What'd you say, sweetheart?
I didn't hear what you said because you
I
had.
said you want to be his wife. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. You love him.
I do. I do.
Okay. You feel like he love you.
I do. He
All right.
showed me that.
All right. All right. 3 years is a long time for men. Let me tell you. Step one, it don't take men long to figure out who their wives are. If they
Yeah.
want you as their wife, there he gonna move on it. Now, I didn't say that to dash you against the rocks. I'm gonna help you out a little bit. When men love you, when they love you, but they have not committed yet to you, although you feel that this is a solid relationship, and he's telling you that this is a solid relationship and he has not left, there's something holding him back from the commitment. The men in the chat, yeah or nay. There's something holding him back. And I'm going to tell you what you need to check off to see which part of it is keeping him from, quote, jumping over the broom with you, because you're a young woman and your time is more valuable now. You're in your prime. And I'm not accusing your boyfriend of doing anything. I'm speaking rather in general here at this point. Okay. Men don't have clocks when it comes to relationships. So he's got all the time in the world to be in a relationship with you and I'll marry you. You, on the other hand, don't have that liberty. You don't have that liberty. So you can only spend a certain amount of time in a relationship that's not committed. You can only spend, and I'm not going to say what that time is, but you can only spend so much time in a relationship that's not committed. Now, the one thing that I'm hearing, the reason why you haven't gotten married yet is because he's working on you.
Yes.
He's working on you. And that's fine. That's fine. He's trying to ensure, I'm going to tell you what he's doing. And you may not be able to see this chart right now because you up here, but on the playback, you'll see it. So I'm going to show a chart. And this is not only for the young lady that I'm speaking to, but all the young ladies who are in relationships and can't figure out why you're not married yet. One of these things or more are blocking the marriage. Time, toll, trouble, or threat. This is what I call 4 T's. Men vet this way. He knows he's spending time. Okay. But what he wants to know is that whether or not you waste time. Okay. He only gonna spend so much time, even though men don't see relationships in terms of time because they don't have biological clocks. They're not racing against their wombs or anything like that. Men see relationships in terms of value, not time. Women see relationships in terms of time because we have a biological clock. Okay, so we only got a short window of our prime real estate. He's in his prime. And if he's in his 40s and he's got his life together, he's in his prime already. So time, toll. Is it too much money? Is it too much of a sacrifice for him emotionally for him to be with you? Are you taking too much, not giving enough on an emotional level, right? 3 and 4 are the most common and the worst ones. Are you too much trouble? What is trouble? And I'm not saying that you are. I'm just speaking in general now. Are you too much trouble for him? What is trouble? Where he has to consistently engage his problem solving for the same problem over and over again. Or you always have a new problem back to back for him to resolve. That is red flag to men. They may love you, but it will stop him from committing to you because of it. Too much trouble, too much chaos that he has to bring order to, and it's not taking it quickly enough. And finally, threat. The society itself gives women a threat, right? Because we can take men and child support, we can do all kinds of stuff societally, whether or not we intend on ever using that or not. Society gives us a gun. Okay, it just gives women a gun. So now, what do we do to mitigate that threat? We have to ensure that he feels safe in the relationship with us, that we are not going to suddenly flipped the script, and now he's the ops. Now we the ops. And now I'm coming for him. Now I'm coming for his life. I'm coming for his money. I'm trying to ruin him. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And that is indicated typically by what we say and what we do when we're angry. That is how he gauges that. What does she do and what does she say when we're angry with each other? Do she start pulling out stuff to get me with? Because if she do it now, she'll do it later. And he may spend time with you. He may be in a relationship with you for the next 10 years. Won't marry. And you'll be frustrated. Why you on why you wasting my time? And I tell ladies this all the time. Don't waste your own time. Don't do it. Do not waste your own time. Men are very, very precise on who their wives are, and they don't waste time to marry her. I'm not saying he won't marry you. I'm saying watch the clock and fix the issues. Whatever it is, fix them quick, and then we'll see whether or not.
Okay, well, Miss Crimson, let me ask you a question. So let's say I fix my trouble, I fix my threat, because I know that, you know, the threat and the trouble is an issue for me. Just external things like family. You know, I have my family kind of in my ear a lot heavy, and I know he's private, you know, so my family kind of being a part of our relationship, that was a big issue. But I had to wake up and realize that it was my family that was kind of hurting us, you know, for me to come out of that and just realizing like, okay, these people don't want to see me happy. They don't really want to see nothing good for me. I gotta want that for myself. So let's say I fix those things and we still don't get married. Then what am I to do? Like, I just don't want to walk out on my relationship because we're not getting married in a timely manner.
You got to figure out what's a timely manner to you, because if your threat is lowered, your trouble is lowered, your toll is worth it, you bring value for his time, and then another year goes by, and another 2 years go by, and another 3 years go by, you can't. I'm not telling you. Please.
No, I get
I'm
you.
not saying leave your I am not giving that advice to you. I'm not telling you to go and crush your relationship. I want to be real clear with what I'm saying, because I would tell anybody this. If you bring value for his time, if you don't take too much of an emotional, mental, or even a financial toll on him, make things hard. If you've curbed your trouble to a reasonable amount, men have a threshold for that. They don't mind getting your chaos together for you sometimes, because that's what they made to do. And he doesn't mind be a threat to him. You can't be the threat to him. If you've cured that, and I'm gonna give you something else to check. Trust me, I'm helping you out.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
The other chart that you're gonna see when you on playback, because I'm pretty sure you can't see this.
I can see him.
You can see him. Okay, great. Valuable women. Usually the block fits in here as well. There's something about a woman's personal market value, her belonging market value, her friendship market value, and or her sexual market value that he's uncomfortable with. He's uncomfortable somewhere, possibly. I'm not saying it's absolutely, but somewhere he's uncomfortable. There is a block. If you feel like you love him and he loves you, there is a block. And you, more often than not, he has told you what this block is. He told you you can go back on whatever conversations y'all have had. I can't tell you that because I wasn't there.
Right.
But he has to, I guarantee you, he has voiced this probably more than once. What's the block? You got to listen to what does that mean to me? when he said, just like you just said, my family was in my ear. Now, how long did that go on? If y'all been together for 3 years, how long was your family apart?
I mean, well, okay, this is the thing with my family. I've never really been close. Like, I've been the black sheep because I've always thought differently, and I've always loved to be in love. So I've always been the one seeking relationships, seeking to have that real family, and my family is kind of against it because my mother lost my dad. My sister is 2 kids. She's just a baby mama. So, I'm really kind of doing something that they don't have. So honestly, at first, it was kind of like I wasn't really around them. But then, to him, he thought that was odd because I'm the baby of the family. And he's like, why aren't you, up under your mom and up under your family? But I tried to explain to him, like, we not really there with each other like that. But I did start back going around them. And I would say it really kind of just stopped. Like, I really just kind of cut my family off because things had got really chaotic to the point where it was just like it was no middle ground. And to me, in order to have peace within myself and to have peace within my relationship, I just felt that it was best to remove them because when me having to balance out, like, okay, who cared for me more, who loved me more, who showed me that they love me more, it's my man. My man showed me all of those things that my family has never shown me. So I chose him over them.
Yeah,
And
but hold on. Let me stop you. I asked how long were they an issue in a 3-year relationship?
kind of almost it's since I've been in my relationship. Crimson, I'm not
When did
gonna
it when
lie.
did you curb them?
Like just recently, probably like a month or two ago, just recently.
The threat's still there.
Yeah.
The threat
Yeah.
is still there. That's why that I'm telling you right now, that's why he ain't married you. That's why he ain't married you.
Oh
That's
my
that's the
God.
problem. He
Mm,
doesn't know how much the influence of your family is competing with his leadership.
yeah.
And he doesn't know which side of the fence you fall on yet.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
don't know because he could get into a marriage with you and invest all of this stuff with you, and then your family come through and get in your ear again, and he'll be done for. The threat level, that's where the threat level is at. He is threatened by your influence, your family's influence over you, especially considering the fact that now you recognize that they don't actually give you good advices and they don't really help you in your relationship in a positive way. So what he's not gonna do, especially I would love to meet the brother, because what he's not gonna do if he got himself together is compete with your family
Yeah.
about who you listen to. The worst thing to do with a man is to make him compete with some other man or entity or somebody else with his leadership. Because when he tell you something, he don't need you going to talk to your mama, your sister, your cousin, your auntie, your grandmama, and nobody else to check back up with what he said, because that's gonna make him pull back his leadership. Now he's just watching to see
Mm,
what you're gonna do. That's where the threat is at.
mm, mm.
On the two
Oh
ago,
man.
it's a problem.
Oh
It's a
dang.
problem.
Okay, Crimson. Okay, so like I said, since I just recently kind of, cut this thread off, I know it's still fairly new. Now moving forward, what do I do?
You cut out. Say that one more time.
What do I do now moving forward? Since now, my family is out the picture. I've kind of, just backed off from them for a while. Now what do I do now as far as to try to fix all of this, or is it too late?
Only time does that.
Mm,
And he's timing you. He's timing you. He I don't know what the clock is in his head, but he's timing you for this. And the best thing for you to do is to actually be real. And I'm not saying you're not, but to actually be real in your intentions and getting underneath his leadership and his leadership alone, and not your family's influence. Because like you just said earlier, it's hard to break 28 years, right?
yeah.
He know that too. So now at this point, he's trying to figure out whether or not you're a chameleon. And I just got to keep it 100 with you. He's trying to figure out whether or not you gonna shake and bake for the he might wait another 2 years, 2 or 3 years with that, because only time tells the story,
Mm-hmm.
and he got time. You don't have time. He got plenty.
Mm. Crimson, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I kind of figured that, but to hear it from you and to get the true acknowledgement on that, I needed that. I really did.
No problem. But I'm sure that if we being honest with ourselves, we knew that, didn't we? I didn't tell you nothing new. I guarantee you, I didn't tell you nothing new. I didn't tell you nothing you didn't know.
No, no, but okay, but Crimson, it was just more so not trying to undermine his leadership or anything, but I guess I still wanted to be able to keep my relationship and then still be able to have my relationship with my family, but I guess it don't work like that.
Your relationship with your family doesn't have to be lost. It has to be changed.
Mm.
Because I doubt that he ever told you not to be around or speak to your family. But that all depends on their level of influence on you and what happens when you are around them. Because there is a such thing as a long handle spoon and boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
There's a such thing as a boundary. You can't be in my relationship. And the way that you keep your family out your relationship is you don't tell them about your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you keep folks out your business. Don't tell them your business. Because when you start telling them your business, that means that you're soliciting advices and opinions from
Right.
them about what you say.
Right.
And we can be influenced by people that are close to us and people that we think love us, and make people who may actually love us, and we love them, and we'll take their word for it and all this other kind of stuff. That's problematic. That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I ain't tell you nothing you ain't know.
No, you didn't. You didn't. But it just the way you broke it down, just to now that I do have a full understanding that, that's what's really going on. I know I can work on that and fix that to change that, honestly. I do know that can be changed.
So you have to decide at this point, and I'm gonna say this and let it go. You have to decide what's more important. What's more important, you and your family, or you and your potential husband? Because how close? Let me ask you this question: has he ever actually talked about marriage and a future with you, not in an absent way, but in a, okay, this is what we're gonna do, I'll marry you when, or
Yes, yes,
it's
like
been
like
definite?
he lets me know as far as certain things that I'm lacking in, or areas that need to be worked on. It's like, okay, you get to this point, you do this, we could get here and we can get there. So yes, he's very vocal about things that he's not happy with or what he wants to see from me. So he do lets me know what the issue is, and he has been vocal about my family as well. So, but like I said, it just really dawned on me because me just so badly wanting a relationship with my family, but not really realizing that it's breaking apart my personal relationship. It was like it was kind of like me trying to figure out what's worth it. Is this worth it?
Mm-hmm. And as long as you're in, if that, as long as that's a question in your mind, it's a question in his, and he gonna answer it for you. If you
Mm-hmm.
can't answer it, he gonna answer it. He gonna be like, nah, it's more important for her to kiki and tt with her family than it is to be my wife. So I'll hang around for a little bit until I find my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how women be feeling bitter. Oh, he was with me for 6, 7 years, and then he left me and he married her in 6 months. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
That's why men do that.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So
Well,
hopefully
thank
this
you,
helps you.
Crimson. I appreciate you so much, sister. I love you so much. You are a blessing from God. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate this conversation. Thank you.
No problem. You are very welcome. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually, since it's 1:18 and I'm gonna have to go quickly. So I'm gonna take one more person. But thank you so much, sweetheart.
Thank
You
you,
have a good
Crimson.
one.
Bye bye.
All right, bye-bye. So I'm going to say Rude Boy's been waiting. So how you doing today, Rude Boy?
How you doing, sis? I love you so much, sis.
You
For
know I
real.
love all my supporters too. How you feeling today?
I feel great. I feel better talking to you.
Okay, that's awesome. What you got for us today, Rude Boy?
That's a little right. I try talking to my girl cousins because I got female family members that be trying to break this down to or whatever, right? And
Mhm.
you talk a lot of stuff that I tend to get that I can't really talk to too many people about. Like you're a nerd, right?
Yeah.
I get that. I get that you got this geekiness about it. And the fact that
Mhm.
you point out that a picture blonde, I picked that up too. You do got a picture blonde with you.
Yes, I do.
Um, but I like it. I love it. Uh, but the dynamics I try to explain to them about is the male and female because they got this masculine energy with them, right?
Mhm.
So if you allow me to go a bit deeper into that,
A few minutes, because like I said, I'm gonna go. You're actually the last person I'm gonna take because
okay,
it's an hour and 20. I'm 20 minutes past my hour. So go ahead, give us what you got.
all right, so a little bit. So I was trying to tell my one of my girl cousins, right? So I told her like I said, look, right, I'm about to hit you with some stuff you're not going to understand, but I'm gonna break it down to you at the end of it. So that which is like onto self is drawn onto itself, and all forms of matter and energy are attracted to that of a light vibration. Like attracts like, but when it comes to the sexes, it's polarity. So when a female acts like a guy, she is it's a certain pool of dudes that she attracts.
Mhm.
That operates within the opposite in their wiring.
Mhm.
You know what
Yes.
I mean?
Mhm.
So like even when I used to approach girls, or when I used to approach girls, I don't now. But when I used to, they used to act like men. Like it's like how guys got a strong preference. It's like okay, like well, how like how like let's say a rainbow. I don't know how to what I'm talking about, right?
Not really. You gotta
Um,
break it down. Go ahead.
like a femme dude.
Okay.
Okay, let's say a femme dude tries to approach a heterosexual guy. He hits on him openly. Like it's like what warrant you? What sign did I put out there that you might have thought that I was that? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So when I approach women before, it's like they would act like they were men. I was approaching other men.
So are you trying to tell me that, because the only thing that I can give from that, especially considering the beginning of what you were saying, was
Yeah,
that
said a lot.
female and male energy is polarizing. So
Right.
like doesn't necessarily attract, like masculine doesn't attract masculine, it attracts feminine. So if are always attracting masculine women, are you questioning whether or not they saw effeminate qualities in you?
And that's what I thought. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should step back because I'm approaching women. You know what though? I would approach them on some like, "Hey, how you doing? My name is so and so. I thought you was attractive. You know what I mean? So just want to just try to shoot my shot, whatever. You know what I mean? Like I would tell them my interests. I wouldn't be too strong off of like, hey, yo, like you know what I mean? Like some dudes or whatever. Like I would really be subtle about it, and it's just the feedback would be very like raw. You know what I mean? Like it's like, how dare you talk to me? Like why would you like what warrant the sign that you know what I mean? Like what warrant the sign that it was okay for you to approach me? It's almost like I was in like the shame of being in the wrong. It's like how you know what I mean? Like I'm a
I know
guy, you're a
exactly what
female.
you
Why is it
mean. I know what you mean. So
you're a female?
there are two types of women. I'm gonna explain something real quick.
Okay.
There's the hyena that's usually always masculine, no matter
Hmm.
what.
I know I
She's
watch
ma-
your show.
she's, she's masculine no matter who approaches her. She's going to be masculine.
Hmm.
And then there's the lioness that doesn't see the lion.
Mm.
she will jump in. She will have teeth and claws too.
Mhm.
And then it'll be more of an offended energy. I've done it before, not harshly, but I've done it. And I'm not calling you this, but I'm saying in general, if a lioness is a lioness and she's in her lioness energy, and let's say a male hyena approaches her, she's gonna
Oh
feel offended.
yeah, I know the difference for
She's
sure.
gonna
Cause I
feel offended because what she's gonna think is, what made you think that I was a hyena, that you could come over here and be a
yeah
F boy with me? Why?
yeah I got
Why?
you for
What
sure.
was I doing? Because I've questioned myself this way. What was I doing that you came over here? What was that about? Let me step back
Like what
because
am I doing?
maybe my energy that I put off hyena energy at some point, because I need you to explain why you approach me like I was a thought when I know I got
Mhm.
lion first. So what's happening? What's really happening here?
Yeah,
If that's a question, I'm gonna say this, and I mean no offense, but we gonna keep things 100 on the call-in show is different. I'm gonna keep things 100. If you feel some type of question as to why there's a certain reaction of women when you try to approach them on, like you said, shoot your shot with them.
it's not every woman.
Well, of course, it's not every single woman, but it must be enough that because you mentioned it. This
Okay,
is what we're talking about. So if 9 times out of 10, or the majority of the time, when you approach women and you are getting a similar reaction, it is something that all of those women are seeing in you. So now your checklist, like everybody else's checklist that I'll promote on here, is the 10 life values. Where on that list do you need work? And I'm not asking you to answer that question. That's a question you ask and answer for yourself. Where on that list are you lacking? Because somewhere the women are not seeing whatever it is that they need to see or feel. And
mm,
I know it as a woman. I've had men to approach, and it was like, you? Because I already know, and I'm not saying you, I already know you a hyena, bruh. So I know why you come here. Why it's a bunch of hyenas. You bypass like 5 of them to get over here. I will bite you. Like, leave me alone. Like, you're gonna get bitten. Lionesses bite all hyenas, even the
yeah,
males. So they get a reaction from me that they weren't expecting. And like I said, I'm not crass or rude, but it
yeah.
is a rejection. So you need, if this is a question for you,
Okay.
you need to go back and check your energy.
I mean, no,
You need to check your life and see where it is that you need to shore up. And I'm not saying it's always your fault or it's your
yeah,
fault
yeah,
that the women are masculine. I'm saying that the only person you can control in the situation is you.
yeah. Myself, yeah. Nah, I dig. I do notice a difference in the reception that I do get from girls that I like. It's like I read the situation, like I read it better now than I did before. Like I wouldn't read it as much. Like I would be quicker before than I am now. Now that I take my time, it's like the details tend to like I pick them up, and then I can assess it from there based on what I picked up. But what I used to do was just like it's just like, hey, how you doing? What's up? You got to do? You got to know? Like it's kind of like
Mhm.
I skipped all the talking and all that. But yeah, I definitely noticed a difference in the females and some of the females that I do approach because I know it's like the ones who I do get to know, who I know that does have like a male figure in their life. I tend to get along with them a whole lot better. They're not
You
saying that
say
this
you
is the
get
case all.
along with the male figures in your life better.
No, the girls who have male figures in their lives, when I get to know them, I tend to click with them a bit better than the girls that I've like. I've talked to a lot of girls, and I noticed that they got a lot of like, especially with their mom, like a
Mhm.
lot. Like it's a lot of. I don't know why it's a lot of like bickering. Like this energy amongst females is just very
It's
vicious.
catty. We're catty.
You, you know what I
And we
mean?
bicker with it with one another. But that's typically what you just said about getting along better with women that have men in their lives and
Yeah.
things of that nature. That's I find that to be generally the case. That's why men get along with me, because I
Mm.
had masculine influence in my life already. And so therefore I'm accustomed to the way men talk, the way men operate. It's not an affront to me. I know men can be hard. I know they can be brash. I know they can be brutally honest. I know that and I understand order when it comes to me, and it's not always dealt with a soft hand. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's matter of fact. This is what it is. You're either gonna fall into order or not. So because I grew up like that with my father and stuff like that, it's not foreign. That energy is not foreign to me. So when men come around and they realize that they can do it, and I'm not offended because they're being masculine or whatever, and I'm not taking offense to that, then that's what makes them comfortable. And they're okay.
Oh, got a breaker. You there?
Actually in her feminine energy with me. She's not making a fight out of it. So I find that to be generally the case. But if you found women that you get along with a bit better, then just gravitate towards those women,
You
because
know, definitely.
there's so many hyenas around that they can't make a good connection with anybody, no matter who they are, no matter what kind of energy they bring, no matter how masculine they are, no matter how much of a lion they are. There are certain women that are so caught up in their own gynocratic world and emotional set that she's going to be masculine no matter what you do. So that's not on you to
Yeah.
try to bring out, quote unquote, bring out her femininity. She's either going to be feminine or she's not. That's not necessarily your job. Like I said before, you can only control you, and how people react to you can be an indicator on whether or not you're going in the direction you need to go, because everywhere you go, there you are. And feedback is important, but it's also not the be all end all of where you need to be and what you are and what you're doing and what kind of energy that you have, because you have what you have. You are who you are, and that's good enough for the woman that likes it. It's good enough for her.
Yeah.
It's not going to be good enough for everybody. It's dudes that don't want me. I don't care how much of a lioness I am.
Mm.
There are dudes that they're not interested at all, and that's okay.
Right.
So, did I help you? Do we got something else?
I mean,
Because I
yeah,
don't
no,
want
that's
you to feel attacked. Because
no,
I
no,
can't
not at
stand when
all.
that
Not at
happens.
all. Not, I can't. I love you too much for that. But my thing is, because we all like the majority of the fuckers I know have been raised by single moms, and I try to like I'm like, yo, if you was raised by a single mom, you a female. I was raised by a single mom. I was raised by a single mom. Most guys I know was raised by a single mom tend to be a bit like they have this leniency, like that's like they're nice to not all, but just the one most of the ones I know who's been raised by their mom or got a strong male female presence in their life was most guys I do know they tend to have this leniency when it comes to females though, but it's like we come from the same background. You're raised in the same household I come from, but yet you tend to have more venom towards me. You know what I mean? It's almost like are you being raised up to believe that I'm this monster before you get to me? Like, cause I'm being taught different from you. Like, I'm not being taught that you're a monster.
Yeah, but and I understand what you're saying, but we have to take things the way they are, not the way that we think that they should be. We
Mm,
live right now in a gynocracy. We live right now in a society where the women don't have any reason to take accountability. They don't
mm,
have any reason for introspection. They don't have any incentive to be feminine, and they're being rewarded actually for being out of order. So the society rewards them. They still getting attention, and they still getting sex, and they still getting protection, and they still getting all of the things that women get,
mm,
right? While being out of order. So this is where all of this rampant stuff is coming from. The lioness is the needle in the haystack from
yeah.
any group of women. She is the needle in the haystack. So the fact that you're running into 50 hyenas before you run into a lioness
No, I'm
is
I
generally
actually
every
talking to
man's
I'm talking
problem.
to someone right now and she's like she's it's getting
You
serious.
know
You
what
know
I'm
what I
saying?
mean? Like that's man. Like, I'm starting to think she's a lioness. Like for real.
Oh yeah, well, don't worry about the hyenas that reject. Hyenas reject everybody.
That's what I
Hyenas
said.
will
I
teach how to
used to do
reject
that. I don't do it no more. I
oh,
got you though
oh,
for
okay.
sure. Thank you. I
All
appreciate you so much.
right. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Rude Boy. I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here, though. I'm
Okay.
sorry
Nah,
for. First of all, let me say to you, if I offended you, I meant no offense.
not
To
at all. You,
me,
as I said, I love you. You can't offend me. I mean, it's like family. Like, you know how family like talk, they keep it real with you. It's like, so it's like, how can I not? You know what I mean?
and what I also want to say is I'm gonna apologize next Friday. Keep your thought, and we'll continue the conversation next Friday on the next call-in show. Especially the sister. I see you in the back. Film Gems 98. I see you in the back. Come be available next week because I want to talk to the ladies. But thank you so much, Rude Boy, for coming up and giving us a little bit of your time.
Appreciate you. Thank you for accepting my call.
No problem. And I apologize, Gerard, Chucker D, Elijah. I know y'all were waiting, but I gotta go. So let me get to these super chats, and then I might have to do 2 call-in shows. Y'all gonna make me up it to 2? We gonna have 2 a week. Don't tell me we gonna have 2 a week. We might. Did this show up again? Did it happen twice? Is YouTube being generous today? Because I see a lot of doubles. I'm hoping y'all are not getting charged more than y'all are trying to give, though, because I can't refund super chats. I have no way to do that. But thank you, UFO. If that was meant to be a second time, I appreciate you. Thank you, Chrissy G said, I just want the hyenas to understand that the tone is simply out of frustration. Frustration because we know our sisters can do better. Tough love is the hardest but most necessary form of love. Thank you so much. Thank you, RJ. So that sounds like the mayor of Dayton, Dalton. Yeah. Tiffany, I want to say her name is. Thank you. What's trending now? So we need to Google and study Peter Pan syndrome. Thank you, Jimmy, for your super sticker as well. Thank you, The Real Books. So enjoying the live convo. Appreciate you. It showed up 2 times. Hopefully YouTube is not stealing from y'all. But thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Lou Casely, for your super sticker, sweetheart. Thank you, Skinny Boys. I'm proud to see women seeking help. A lot of these hyenas don't care about changing. I appreciate the sister being open and honest. Thank you so much, MIA. So I can relate to what he's saying. I have been accused of having a playboy energy, and I'm one of the most loyal, monogamous guys you will find. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Enigma said, love the show. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, Masculinist said, find a needle in a haystack with a magnet. That is bars. Okay. Thank you so very much. Thank you, everyone, for hitting the link, whether I got to you or not. I apologize for not getting to everybody, but I appreciate you. Come back next week. We're going to have another topic that we can talk about. And I appreciate all of you. So once again, I want to thank you all. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonite.